Hello everyone, welcome back. This is our lecture 1, class 9th, subject English. In this lecture, we are going to discuss one new chapter of moments, that is, chapter number 5, The Happy Prince, written by Oscar Wilde. In this lecture, we are going to have a look on these 5 topics. The first will be the introduction of the chapter, then the explanation of the chapter, then we will discuss the aptness of its title and plot of the story, the theme of the chapter, and the new words which have been discussed in the chapter. Now let's start with the introduction of the author, who is Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde was an Anglo-Irish playwright, novelist, poet and critic. He is regarded as one of the greatest playwrights of the Victorian era. In his lifetime, he wrote 9 plays, 1 novel and numerous poems, short stories and essays. He was born on 16 October 1854 in Westland Row, Dublin in Ireland. His genre: epigram, drama, short story, criticism, journalism. That means his area of interest of writing. Then literary movement, aesthetic movement and decadent movement. Notable work: The Picture of Dorian Gray and The Importance of Being Earnest. He died on 30th November 1900 at the age of 46 in Paris, France. Now, the introduction of the chapter. The Happy Prince is a story by Oscar Wilde. It is about the story of a statue, the Happy Prince, which is covered with gold and many fine jewels. It sits overlooking the city. One day a swallow bird seeks shelter under the statue and discovers the prince not happy but sad. So the story is about the statue of the Happy Prince. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue on a tall column in the city, and this story throws light on the problems of social inequality, the healing power of love and the loss of innocence. The bird who came to visit the city that night seeks a shelter between the feet of the statue of Happy Prince. The bird becomes friendly with the prince and tries to make him happy by assisting him in his desire to ease the suffering of others. It plucks out the ruby, the sapphire and other fine jewels from the statue and delivers them to those who are poor and needy. A swallow bird and the statue of a prince sacrifice their happiness and wealth for the good of others who are more needy than them. So they sacrifice their happiness and wealth for the goodness in helping others who are in more need than them. Now let's have a look on the explanation of the chapter. In this story, we came across a statue who at one time was a real prince. When the prince was alive, he was a happy person. He lived in the palace and did not know about human sufferings. His life was full of joys. Upon his death, his statue was built at the top of a column in the city. A statue is installed at the top of a tall column in the city. He was a real prince at one time. He was happy when alive because he was kept ignorant of any sadness or suffering outside his palace walls. His life was one of the joyous and fulfilled desires. So when he died, a statue was made depicting him which was covered in gold, had beautiful stones and a ruby attached to the handle of his sword. The statue was covered all over with thin leaves of fine gold. For eyes he had two bright sapphires, and a large red ruby glowed on his sword hilt. The statue of the happy prince looked beautiful, and everyone in the city loved to see their prince. So, because of the value the society places on gold and jewels, he was thought to be quite beautiful. Useless, remarked by the town councillors, but beautiful. He is adored by everyone who is seeing him for the first or for the second or the every time they are seeing the statue. Unfortunately for the statue, his placement at atop a high hill allows him to witness for the first time the pain and miseries suffered by his city people. Since he was placed high above the city, he could see all around that what is all happening throughout his city. The prince was able to witness all the sorrows and sufferings which the common people faced in their daily life. The miseries and the pains experienced by the poor people of the city, of whom he had remained ignorant when he was alive, but now when he was dead and a statue of him was placed high above the city, he could see all of those sufferings and miseries. But the prince remained ignorant of them during his lifetime. This made the prince, once happy, very sad. So the prince who used to remain happy when he was alive became very sad as he got to know the real pain and sufferings of his city people. His eyes got watered and large drops of tears began to run down his golden cheeks. Now one day what happened, a little swallow who had alighted between the feet of the happy prince to spend the night there became curious to know where did the drops of water fall from. Initially the bird thought that it might be raining outside, but when the bird sees up in the sky, there were no clouds to be seen anywhere. So the swallow who arrives at the statue and alighted and seeked a shelter between the feet of the happy prince got to know that the drops of the water were nothing but the tears of the happy prince. He looked up and saw the eyes of the happy prince full of tears. The bird took pity on the prince and became ready to assist him in his desire to ease the sufferings of the common people. That means when the bird got to know about the reason behind the sadness of the happy prince, it decided to serve as a messenger for the happy prince to help the needy people. It became the messenger of the prince and agreed to remove the fine gold and jewels from his statue to distribute them among the poor and the needy. Now, so what happened? The bird, the swallow, became the statue's messenger and agreed to remove the jewels on prince's commands to bring satisfaction, to solve miseries, to remove poverty and sufferings of his city people. It started with plucking the ruby from the prince's sword and giving it to the seamstress who had no money to feed her ailing. Ailing means ill child. That means They saw one lady, seamstress, a lady who earns her living by doing sewing the clothes. So she had no money to feed her sick son who was suffering from high fever. When the happy prince saw that, he commanded the swallow to pluck the ruby and give it to the seamstress. So, as commanded by the happy prince, it plucked a sapphire from one of the eyes of the statue and gave it to the playwright who was too poor to make fire in the winter to continue his writing. He was also very hungry and was feeling weak. The first person who was helped by the happy prince was the seamstress who had no money to feed her ill child was given the ruby. Then the next person was a young man who was a playwright but he was too poor to buy coal for his fireplace in the winter and he was given a sapphire for the same, as if he would not be able to finish the play, then he would not be paid the amount and would be left poor only. One day the prince saw a match girl who was being beaten by her father for letting her matches fall in the gutter. The prince's heart filled with pity for the girl. He immediately commanded the swallow to pluck out his other eye and help the girl. The next person who was helped by the happy prince was a little young girl who is barefoot and without a covering for the head in winter is given the sapphire as he was sent by her father to sold the matchsticks which was mistakenly fallen into the gutter. If she would return home without earning a penny, she would be beaten up by her father. Seeing her miserable condition, the happy prince commanded the swallow to pluck out his other eye and help the little girl. But the swallow was not ready to do so because this would make the prince completely blind. On being insisted, but the swallow was being forced, pushed to do it, so it plucked out the prince's other eye, swooped past the match girl and slipped the jewel into the palm of her hand. The little bird decided not to leave the company of the happy prince who had gone blind now. Now the swallow, who was acting as a messenger of the prince to carry the jewels and gold to these needy people. The prince had become blind now and was no longer able to see the miserable condition of the people around him as his eyes have been removed. He knew that poverty was there and he was not blind to the sufferings of the others as once he was. Even without eyes to see, he knew that poverty still exists. Then the snow came, and the poor little swallow grew older and colder. That means what happens Eventually, as winter came and it started snowing, the swallow laid at the feet of the statue and thus died from exposure, as the birds could not survive in extreme cold conditions. It could never reach Egypt because it exchanged his dream of a warm climate and comfort with a bigger dream, that is, to help to those who are in need. So, eventually, it grew weak and died from exposure and exhaustion. Just at that moment, a curious crack sounded inside the statue as if something had broken. Now imagine what could be that curious crack. It was nothing but the leaden heart that had snapped right in two at the loss of the sweet and kind swallow. The statue was no more beautiful and useful, it stood there deserted. That means when the swallow died, the leaden heart of the happy prince also broke into two pieces, two parts, and the statue was no longer beautiful and useful. So the heart of the sculptor cracks with sadness at the loss of his friend the swallow. The most beautiful part of the statue, the kind and giving heart, could not be seen from the outside. So the town councillors and the mayor pulled it down. Now upon seeing the statue in such despair, in such dull and weird situation, the powerful people of the city, that is, the town councillors and the mayor, decided that the statue was no longer useful as it was no longer beautiful. So the statue was melted in a furnace, but the broken heart did not melt. So they just threw it on a dust heap, on a garbage heap where the dead swallow was lying. When God asked one of his angels to bring the two most precious things in the city, the angel brought him the leaden heart and the dead bird. So what happened? God asked for one of the angels to bring him the two most precious things in the city. The angel brought the leaden heart of the happy prince and the dead swallow. God praised the choice of angel. He said that the little bird would sing forever in his garden of paradise, and the happy prince would praise him forever in his city of gold. Now let's discuss the aptness of the title of the story. The Happy Prince. The prince never knew unhappiness when he was alive, as he lived in splendor and ease. He lived in a palace where sorrow was never allowed to enter. A high wall separated his palace grounds from the outside world where the actual miseries existed. Because his existence was so sheltered, the prince never knew of the misfortunes and miseries his subjects experienced in their own lives. He lived in splendor, he lived in happiness, and the prince tells the swallow that his own courtiers used to call him the happy prince, not only because he was always found to be cheerful, but also he was always found untroubled, as he was totally unaware of the miseries that the common people used to suffer in their day-to-day lives. The plot of the story: there is a statue of the happy prince in the middle of a really unhappy town. So this was an irony that the statue of the happy prince was placed in the middle of such a city where actually the people were not happy. A swallow comes to sit on the statue's plinth. The swallow sees the happy prince crying and asks him the reason for his sadness. So once the bird visited the happy prince and stayed with him by acting his messenger. The prince says there is too much sadness in the town and that the swallow should take all the jewels of the statue and give them to those who need them. But then the swallow never flew away for the winter and dies. So what happened? The swallow acted as a messenger, but due to cold weather it died. Also, the greedy mayor of the town doesn't think that the statue is beautiful anymore without the jewels and orders for the prince to be melted down. So ultimately the happy prince and the swallow. The swallow died due to harsh extreme cold weather conditions, and with the death of the swallow, the happy prince's heart also broke into two pieces, and after the removal of all the gold leaves and beautiful stones, the prince was no longer beautiful. So the mayors and the town councillors decided to melt down the statue. But they find that the prince's leaden heart won't melt, so they throw it out. Throughout the story, an angel who has been ordered by God to find the two most precious things he can find in city and bring them back to him. The God asked one of his angels to bring them to the two most precious things in the city. The angel brings back the dead swallow and the lead heart, and God is happy and says that swallow will now sing in paradise garden forever, and the happy prince shall praise forever in the city of gold. Now the theme of the chapter. Outward beauty is nothing, it is just a show. The real beauties are love and sacrifices. Love and sacrifice are two saving forces. The writer wants to tell that the outward beauty does not mean a lot, but the real beauty is in person's heart which have the deep feelings and the ability to feel the sorrows and hardships of others, just like the happy prince, that he led a happy life, but after his death, when he saw people worries, he felt them and helped them as he could do so. There is great gap between the rich and the poor, the rulers and the masses. God loves those who love their fellow human beings. The lesson we got from the story is that every person is not the same, as the happy prince is very rich and live happily, but when he saw people's hardships, even after his death, he was worried and was anxious, was curious to help them at every possible way and make it possible by the help of a bird swallow, which was his great deed. Now let's discuss the new words. Gilded, to cover with something. Sapphires, transparent blue precious stones. Hilt, the handle of a weapon or tool. Alighted, descended. Drenched, soaked with water. Pricked, damaged. Misery, sadness. Sculptured, made. Coarse, rough. Seamstress, a woman who makes a living by sewing. Pedestal, a raised platform. Mast, sail of the ship, tossing, turning left and right. Sank, drowned, but here it means the boy is going to sleep. Sank usually means drowned, but here it is used for that young boy, the young playwright who was in deep sleep. Prospect, thought of something. Garret, small dark room at the top of the house. Withered, worn out. Violet, a kind of flower. Grate, fireplace. Cathedral, main church. Darted, pushed himself inside. Harbour, seaport. Swooped, fly very low. Proclamation, order or rule. Furnace is a fireplace where metals are melted. Overseer, supervisor. Foundry, workshop for casting metals. Thimble, cap worn on finger for protection. Steeple, top of a church. Garret, small room on roof. Grate, metal frame of fireplace. Marvelous, wonderful. Shabby, worn out and dirty. Frost, white powdery layer of ice. So now your homework is that you have to read the chapter thoroughly and do the textual questions. You may find out the answers in your textbook only, but if the question is to be written, then you may write down the answers in your practice notebook, and after matching your answers you may copy them down in your fair notebook in a proper format. Just read the chapter thoroughly, go through each and every explanation, and then only go for solving the questions.